Hello and welcome to the Paula's Place podcast, where today I'm with Trisha Halvorsen from Perth, Western Australia. Trisha, welcome. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, it's lovely to have you here.
Yeah.
Trisha, we first met, I think, in Attitudinal Healing International facilitator training quite a few years ago, probably about 5 years ago. I
Mm-hmm.
think you were one of the
Mm-hmm.
facilitators, and I was just
Mm-hmm.
joining as a student. Um, and yeah, I'm just wondering, Trisha, a little bit that I know about you, and I'll let you fill in the gaps. But I
Mm-hmm.
know that you've created a platform for attitudinal healing, I could say, in Western Australia, and I know that you have a website. You work with people with dementia, and you've done some online training with Geraldine. You offer sort of for the Southern Hemisphere. I know that you've offered a training on Els Tisson's book,
Yes.
Attitudinal Healing in A Course in Miracles, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, which is just fabulous. And
Mm-hmm.
you and Geraldine are doing something else coming up soon. So I'm wondering, Trisha, could you tell us a little bit more about you?
Okay. Okay. Um, you've said quite a lot. I am a teacher by trade, and I've worked with children as young as 5 and through to adolescents who didn't do as well as they wanted to in their final years of high school, but wanted to go to university. So I was working at a place called Canning College, and young students who were disappointed with their results came, and we taught them about how to learn, and took them through a whole training program of what strategies and techniques they could use to learn. But we also ran groups of personal growth. So these, young, 18, 19-year-olds, and some were mature age students who came into it as well to learn how to learn, so that they could go on to university in their older years.
Ah,
But we
great.
ran, groups in, self-esteem, and, I'm talking,
Mm,
a few decades back, or a couple of decades back, time management, stress management, a whole
yeah,
range of personal development areas to sort of support them in their learning process as well. And I just found that, a
yeah,
fabulous thing to do, and see young people coming from a place of disappointment at the end of one year,
yes,
coming through and doing training, and and studying at the same time to
yeah.
really enhance their capacity for learning and
Mm,
take away some of the stress and all that sort of thing. So that
yeah,
was one of the teaching jobs that I did. And
yeah.
then I did teach at university level as well, with
Mm,
psychology students, and I had the privilege of teaching them very hands-on experiential workshops. So I found it extremely fulfilling. And with a background in attitudinal healing,
yeah.
I found it just great to be able to teach the principles of attitudinal healing within the framework of what was required at the
Wow.
university. So I
Yeah.
didn't, go through and teach all the principles and do it in a more systematic way.
Yes.
I just really brought it into everything that I did, and it was a fabulous way to use AH.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Without them
So,
knowing, you kind of incorporated it that way.
no,
No.
yes, yes, that's right. It was,
Yeah.
I mean, it's so, as Jerry would say, like it's they're universal principles. And I
Yes.
think, I might say it this way, that they were studying, full on academic courses,
Yeah.
and you found this, course to be, a place of, almost like a place of retreat, that you just got into
Yeah.
uh, your own, perspectives on things, and your
Yeah.
own concerns, or thinking about how you are going to work with other people, but also
Yeah.
having a focus on, how am I doing in myself
Yes.
at this
Yeah.
time, and what am I learning about myself that I
Yeah.
can then, work with other people, having this
Yeah.
knowledge, self-knowledge as well. So
Wow. And the
that was how it
adolescents that
worked.
you worked with, the ones from secondary school must have really
Yeah.
appreciated that too. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. It
Yeah.
was, as attitudinal healing groups are in themselves, we always worked in circles.
Mm.
So there was a sense of
Great.
that we are all, learning together,
Equal.
and
Yeah.
that, while me being the facilitator or being the lecturer, although I might have had, different experiences and a more experience and those sorts of things, that it was really a space that was being offered that we can still learn together,
Yes.
teachers and
Yeah.
students really.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
I must say that I learned a heck of a lot in all the contexts of teaching that I've been in, over
Yeah.
a number of decades now. So
Yes.
I'm very grateful for the opportunities that I've
Yeah.
had.
Yeah.
Mm,
Oh, lovely to hear that, Trish, and lovely
mm,
to have you here. Um,
yeah.
and we'll hear a little bit more about what you do further in our conversation. But
Mm.
first, in your own words, can you explain attitudinal healing to someone, that's new to the
I
concept?
don't think so.
No?
I don't think so.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah. Don Goey said, what did he say? The 12 principles of attitudinal healing are a practical
Mhm.
spirituality based on A Course in Miracles. Oh, wow,
Uh-huh.
that's one sentence kind of summed it up. But then, he spoke a lot around it. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
And I think the reason that I feel like that, and I have felt like that, and regardless of the fact that I've been a student and a facilitator in attitudinal healing for a few decades now,
yes,
so I should well and truly be able to come up with something very succinct that says it all and feel proud of
yeah,
myself. But
yeah,
it doesn't quite work like that for me.
no,
Um, I think, the thing that I feel most strongly is that Jerry always described principle number one. Love is the essence of our being, as being the umbrella statement.
yeah,
And that with that as the umbrella statement, all the other principles
mm,
basically feed into that. So, giving and receiving are the same.
yeah,
I can always be peaceful inside, regardless of what is happening on the outside.
mm,
Since
yeah,
love is eternal, death need not be feared.
yeah,
Um,
mm,
so I think, when I think of attitudinal healing, rather than, be able to move into my head and sort of think of a succinct statement,
yeah,
it's sort of like, well, where do I start?
mm,
Like my life really has been, influenced so strongly by attitudinal healing, the
yeah,
principles and the guidelines and the interactions in groups,
yes,
that it's sort of, I think I've just imbibed it really. And
yeah,
it's I always think I sell attitudinal healing short when I try to be succinct around
explain
it,
it.
you know.
Yes. Oh,
But
I'm so glad to
yeah.
hear that, Trisha, because that's the way I feel, and that's why I'm doing this podcast. It's like, oh, it's really hard
Yeah.
to explain it. You just
Mm, mm,
kind of
mm.
live
There's
it.
so many aspects. There's so
Yeah.
many aspects to it.
Yes.
And just
Yeah.
depending on how you're feeling at any particular time, I find I would like to
Yeah.
describe it in a different way.
Yeah. Yes. So true.
Mm,
Yes. Yeah.
mm.
Trisha, how did attitudinal healing come into your life? Like, what is your story?
Yeah. I think this happens to, a number of people, that a crisis happens in your life and
Yeah.
you go suddenly realize that you need help and you need to
Mm,
sort of get some guidance around where to from here.
yeah.
So, I hit a crisis in my life and decided to go and seek professional help.
Hmm.
And the psychologist that I went to see, in the time that I was working with her,
Hmm.
she went to the US to meet Jerry Jampolsky and have a look at his
Ah.
work. And so when she came back to Perth, um, it, she was really excited about it, and she decided to start up an attitudinal healing group in Perth.
Ah.
And
Yeah.
so, being one of her clients, I became involved in her community work,
Mm,
and under the umbrella of attitudinal healing. So that was,
great.
my introduction. And then she and her husband invited Jerry and Diane to Perth. And so we
Ah,
held a conference in Perth and yeah, got to know all about attitudinal healing and
wow.
and went from there.
Yeah.
So attitudinal
Yeah.
healing in Perth has been going for a number of decades, and
Yes. Yeah.
here we are.
Yeah.
Mm,
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. And
mm.
tell us more about that in Perth, so I know you've got a website. Um,
Yeah, there's actually
and
two
offer.
centres in Perth.
Hmm.
We one's a Centre for Attitudinal Healing Perth,
Yeah.
and the
Hmm.
other one is Attitudinal Healing Western Australia, and we work, along the same lines, except we have a retreat just out of Perth. So one group of people wanted to work within the retreat framework,
Hmm.
and another lot of us wanted to work just in the day-to-day living of attitudinal healing.
Yeah.
And so we've got two groups who serve different purposes, but from the very same foundation. So
Yes. Wow.
that's how it
Yeah.
works. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
great.
So
Mm.
the retreat, do they offer any like trainings or
Yes,
as a yeah,
and
okay.
they offer, weekends and one-day workshops and have different guest speakers coming and work with other groups. They also are affiliated now with the Cancer Foundation or one of the
Yeah.
groups from the Cancer Foundation. So
Yes.
there's a lot happening. The retreat is in Serpentine,
Yeah.
and we are based
Great.
just out of or within the metropolitan area in Perth.
Oh, how
Mm,
interesting. Wow. Yeah. And
mm,
and attitudinal
mm.
healing's at the core of the retreat. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. They have
That's
other groups can hire out the centre,
yes.
but the founders of it work with attitudinal healing.
Yeah.
Mm,
Great. Yeah. And we've spoken before, Trisha, because my father-in-law, who's since passed away at the end of last year, he had dementia for a number of years, and I spoke to you
mm,
quite a long time ago about that. And you
mm,
also, well, you might talk about Michael Verde and
mm,
what you've done with people with dementia in Perth.
mm.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
It all happened, sort of magically, really.
yeah.
We came, we went to the US. I went to San Francisco. There was a conference on, so people
Yes,
from, all the different centers all over the world had the opportunity to come to San Francisco. It was also a celebration of Jerry's 90th year.
wow,
And so, yeah, we came together and stayed at a fabulous place called the Presidio Lodge. It was a very beautiful place to be, and we were all there together. And they had amazing guest speakers and musicians, and it really was a smorgasbord of wonderful insights and yeah, people having opportunities and all the people who've written books over, decades of all different aspects of attitudinal healing and applying it in different ways.
yeah,
There was a lot of books that you could, have a look through, a browse through,
yes, yes,
and lots of workshops were offered. And so it was, one of those workshops. There was the key speakers, and then we could break into plenaries and, go to
yeah,
different
yeah.
sessions. And there was a gentleman there, Michael Verdi,
Mhm.
who has been working with um, people with dementia, carers and loved ones of people with dementia, and people in aged care facilities who are working with people with dementia. And
Yeah,
his work has developed a long way. I think the conference was around 2016, and his
mhm.
work is ongoing, and he's been to Perth now a number of times. But it all started with a few of our people from Perth went to Michael's workshop. I
Yeah,
had gone to something different. And when we came back to Perth, we were sort of looking for an avenue to extend our work.
yes,
Um, and
yeah,
when we got back, we had a board meeting and we said, we need to bring someone over from the US.
yeah,
And the people who'd been to Michael's workshop said, it's got to be Michael Verdi. It's got to be about dementia. And
yeah,
so
yeah,
it was a unanimous decision around, the people who'd been there, and then when we heard what they had to say about
Yeah.
Michael, it was
Great.
decided, yeah, Michael's the one. We need to bring him
Yeah.
over.
Yes.
Um, I think we recognised immediately that the very foundation of his organisation is called Memory Bridge,
Mm.
and Attitudinal Healing. They are very congruent. They meld beautifully
Yeah.
together.
Yes.
Michael's work and principles of attitudinal healing.
Mm.
So we were a fit, and
Yep.
so um, we're quite a small group, and we don't have a whole lot of we have no paid workers. We're a
Yes.
voluntary group,
Yeah.
and so the idea of, oh, how do you go about bringing someone and organizing a conference and everything else? And we thought we'll have to get a professional in to do it, and then we found out how much it was going to cost us to do
Yeah.
that sort of thing. So we
Yes.
thought, I don't think so. And so it became like, well, I am the coordinator of programs at AWA, and Trish, what can you do? Well, I don't
Yeah.
think I can do. I don't think I can do anything. But I had a great team. We are a great team at
Yes.
AWA, and I sort of just thought, well, I'll just sort of start and see, what I can
Yeah.
do. And I felt as though I was just taking, like on a walking down steps blind and sort of just
Mm.
feeling my way of how to go about things. But
Yeah.
I felt like I wasn't alone because I had all, my mates from AWA, but
Yes.
I also felt that I wasn't alone, that because, the project that we were trying to get up was,
Yeah.
really a very heartfelt,
Yeah.
proposal. Um,
Yes. Yeah.
and, so I felt that, there would be a way that we could manage to pull this together. And so I
Yeah.
look back now and I think I'm not really sure how it all happened, but went and spoke to the city council that I live in, talked to them about what we were wanting to do,
Yeah.
went and spoke to Alzheimer's Association and
Mm.
spoke to their CEO and sort of blabbed my way through a conversation of what I thought we wanted to do.
Yes.
And surprise, surprise, they both came on board and we each put
Wow.
in, I think it was $10,000 or something like that.
Yeah.
And the city of Melville had a whole database of all the different cities, around Perth,
Yes.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
um, so they advertised it through their community as a program they were offering. And of course, the CEO at Alzheimer's, they
Mm.
had a huge database and obviously a big interest in what we were looking to do. So yeah, we joined forces and we managed to create a successful
Gosh.
conference between
Yeah.
the
Yes.
different parties and
Wow.
getting a lot of support. And I think the thing that still sticks with me to this day is that I just felt that I got met, at
Yeah. Yes.
every
Every
juncture where
point.
I
Yeah.
thought,
Yeah.
I don't know what to do and I'm overwhelmed and this is too big for me and
Yeah.
why don't I take it on?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, just
Yeah.
somehow something would come along
Just
that,
happen.
we
Yeah.
keep
Yeah.
moving
Wow.
forward. And so the
Yeah.
three organizations, formed a really, solid base
Yeah.
to do this. And it was
Gosh.
successful.
Brilliant. Yeah.
So
And yeah, that just the um that saying by, is it Lao Tzu, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step, something like that,
yeah,
and it's like it
yeah,
sounded like you
yeah.
just had that. It got,
Mm,
just taking that one step and having
mm,
faith in that. And yeah,
yeah.
what a story. And to get the backing, and to just go to them
Mm,
in the first place. I mean, I
yeah,
think that
yeah.
would give others hope
Mm,
just listening to you speak. Yeah.
yeah. I felt like the kindergarten child stepping into the university
Ye-
class and
Yes.
expecting to make
Yeah.
some sense of things.
Yeah. Well, you obviously did,
Oh.
Trisha. So, yeah. And so from
Yeah.
that, what happened? Like I know that you've worked in dementia homes, have you? Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah. So what happened was working with the CEO of Alzheimer's. His name
Mm.
is Hua.
Yeah.
Burton is his last name. I'll think of that
Yeah.
in a minute. Gosh, you worked so closely with someone for so long, and now I'm
Yeah.
about to say his
Yeah.
name. And Yeah, it'll come.
That's okay.
Um,
Mm.
so we just started to talk together with the City of Melbourne and once again with
Yeah.
Alzheimer's and
Mm.
Michael, and
Yeah.
realized that in a lot of the aged care facilities, you've got people who are living independently, who
Yes.
are, you know, um, available, and some of them would really like to be engaged in
Yeah.
something.
Yes.
And then you've got the people who have, you know, dementia, who are in the same facilities. And how could we, get some people to train as volunteers
Ah,
to be with people with dementia?
yeah.
And so we started to, build a project around that. So I actually traveled to Hawaii and met up with Michael Verdi and Trish Ellis at Trish Ellis's
Ah,
house.
yeah.
And we planned a program of attitudinal healing and memory bridge, because Michael had a lot of videos that we could use for
Yes.
teaching resources and a lot of experience.
Mm.
So we put together, the principles of attitudinal healing, and um, the resources that Michael had developed, and spent, I think I was there for, uh, we probably 5 or 6 days we stayed with Trish, and
Yes.
um,
Yeah.
we just worked, the three of us, all day on
Wow. Yeah.
developing a program and working out,
Gosh.
videos to go with things, and
Yes. Yeah.
all that. So
What
we,
fantastic resources between the three
yeah,
of you,
it
all
was.
those heads together. Wow.
Yeah, yeah. And the resources,
Yeah.
there's amazing resources within attitudinal healing. And
Yeah.
Michael has created amazing resources through his foundation, his organization.
Right. Yeah.
So bringing them together was, just a delight, really. And exactly what you say, having input from three different perspectives was
Yes.
fantastic.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Wow.
so we came back, and I had an auntie who was in an aged care facility, and I'd got to know the nurse manager there. This is how life happens, doesn't it?
Yes.
So,
Contacts.
I went to see her,
Yeah. Yeah.
and she and told her, this is what we'd like to do. See if there's people at the place is called RAFA, Royal Australian Air Force Association.
Hmm.
Um, is the name of the or the facility,
Yeah.
and talked to her about it, and said, like, we'd like to see if there's anyone, who would like to volunteer to be trained to become, to become, Michael would call them bridges, to be
Mm.
trained to become bridges, to
Yeah.
be people who would just learn how to be with people with dementia. And
Yes.
um, Helen from Rafa Aged Care Facility,
Yeah.
she really liked the idea. And so
Yeah.
it grew from there. And then we were really lucky that she said there was an OT there, and she said we'd like her to go into the program so that she
Yes.
can be a conduit, really, for the
Wow.
volunteers and
Yeah.
the staff,
Yes.
so that, it all works together.
Wow.
And
And the
so that's what we
volunteers, were
did. So we
they,
took the program in.
sorry. I was just wondering, were the volunteers the other people in the home, the other, do you say
There were people
patients?
who, there's at this aged care facility,
Mm.
there's a dependent, um, um, uh, what am I trying to say? There's a building that's been especially set up for people with
Yes.
dementia on
Yes.
the site.
Yeah.
There's a number of people who live in either um, small homes
Yeah.
or in apartment buildings, who
Yes.
are available, and live their
Yeah.
own lives, live independently, and are
Yes. Yeah.
enjoying, a wonderful lifestyle
Yeah. Yeah.
in
Yeah.
at this aged
Great.
care
And so they
facility.
were the people that would work with the
We just
people with
advertise.
dementia.
They have a
Yeah.
paper that
Yes.
they produce, and it goes to everybody. And we just advertised through that we were doing this pilot project
Yeah.
being sponsored by the City of Melville, and that if people would like to come and have a chat with us about what the project's about, and
Yeah.
what we're wanting to do, then,
Wow.
come and have morning tea with us, and we'll have a
Yeah.
chat about it.
Yeah.
And so that's what happens. So, I think it was about 18 people, male and female, which was just wonderful,
Wow.
came to
Yeah.
the meeting, and we
Yeah.
talked to them about what we were going to do and said, you know, it's going to be a 10-week training program.
Yes.
So if and these are the sort of things we'll be looking at, if you'd like to join us. And so
Wow.
we started off with 15
Yeah. Yeah.
volunteers,
And
and that's what we did.
yeah.
We trained them in just how to be with people, just how to listen,
Yeah.
to know how to put aside our own agenda so that we could just
Yes.
be there with the buddy. Or
Yep.
Michael introduced the term buddy, but what did we change it to? We changed it to companion. That would
Oh,
be a bit more
nice.
Australian.
Yeah. Yes.
Um,
Mate.
companion. And so yeah, we train people, for this 10 weeks.
Yeah.
And when we got to the end of it, everyone was really keen. Oh, we don't want you to stop. Keep going.
Oh.
So we got to extend the 10-week program to make it a 20-week program. And
Yes. Yeah.
um and Jason Burton, it's come to me.
Yeah.
Jason was having a look at how it was going to work. He was doing a small research
Okay.
project on this particular project. So
Yes.
he came, to see us at the end of the 10 weeks and
Right.
interviewed our volunteers about, what they had gained from the course, how they had found it, and talked to the OT,
Yes.
Amy, who
Yeah.
Helen had coming to each session, how
Mm.
it had impacted on the people living with dementia, and how it
Yes.
had impacted on the families
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
loved ones in the
Wow.
aged care facility. And I think the biggest surprise was that um, the staff really appreciated that this is one thing. The staff really appreciated us coming.
Yeah.
We came as a whole group on a Wednesday morning, but then
Yeah.
because the people lived on the site, they could go and visit their companion whenever they wanted to. So they might see them 3 or 4 times over the
Yeah.
week.
Yeah.
And so um, the the people with living with dementia really appreciated having a person that came and saw them,
Yes.
regularly.
Yeah.
And the staff loved us coming because it just meant that there was more, one-on-one happening
Yes. Yeah.
in
Yeah.
amongst the activities and everything that they
Win-win.
were doing.
Yeah.
And we had trained the volunteers, or when I say trained the volunteers, we'd, really, talked amongst ourselves all about how we were there to be of service. We were there to, add value to, people's lives and to add value to our own lives.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think one of the things that thrilled me was the volunteers became a really cohesive group.
Mm. Oh, they would
And
do.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
What a sense of purpose it must have given them, yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
and a
Yeah.
common focus for this
Yeah.
particular group.
Yes.
Um, and I mean, it was COVID happened,
Yeah.
and we had a meeting. But we met with them all at the after COVID, after we were, allowed to go back in,
Mm.
and
Mm.
asked them, how that all got on during COVID, and all that sort of thing. And I think
Yeah.
one gentleman just really summed it all up. He said one thing that they did, um, just straight after COVID, or just when things were easing up in Perth around COVID.
Yes.
Um, he said we had the funeral people come in and have a chat with me and my wife about, how we wanted to have our funeral and all of those sorts of things. And he
Yeah.
said it's amazing the questions they ask, music, flowers, um, and how many people do you think will come to your funeral? And he said, oh, and so they asked us this question, how many people
Yeah.
will would come to the funeral?
Yeah.
And he said, my wife started going, well, there'd be da 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 da, and cousins and children and
Yeah.
aunts and uncles and a whole lot of people. And he said, and then the funeral lady said to me, and what about you? How many people do you imagine, that you would come to your funeral? And he said, And I thought about it, and then I thought, how many people in our group?
Oh,
15.
yes, yeah,
15, I think.
15.
So he told us this
Oh,
story, and
yes, yeah.
he said, I hope I wasn't being presumptuous to say that.
But he's really
But
felt that
it was
connection,
just it was just a
connection
fun
between.
story
Yeah,
that
yeah,
it just sort of did show how much the group meant to them. They really look forward to
yeah,
meeting
yeah.
on the
Wow.
Wednesday, and I think it really gave them just such an amazing opportunity to
Yeah,
learn about themselves.
yes,
And
yeah,
some of them, hadn't been a big part of their lives. They've been
yes,
busy with,
yeah,
being all the other roles we are in our lives.
yeah, yes.
And so, this was something quite new to a lot of
Mm,
them. And we saw real changes in people, we actually continued on longer, um, and we made it like monthly meetings where we would just catch up and hear how everyone was going and things
right.
like that. So it went for a number of years.
Yeah, I was
And
going to say, is it still going now, Trisha, or has it sort of
no,
panned out? Yeah.
it actually COVID sort of really, and
Yeah.
also, what happens in our organizations is that the people who had actually started the whole dementia area, they both, in quite short, a time frame of each other, both went to other jobs, and
Yeah.
um,
Mm,
and then somehow just the whole, it all became different.
yeah.
It was
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
you start a project and you've all got this common vision, and, you work together, but then, time comes when
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
it all
And
changes, and
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, and COVID
yeah,
did sort of do that. It put a stop to a lot of things, you know. A lot of things
yeah,
began, but some things stopped. But what an
yeah,
inspiration, though, just hearing that, you know. I mean, it's given me some food for thought. I'm sure whoever else watches this too. I mean, it's a great way to, you know, to bring it into the workplace or to bring it into a retirement home and just share the
yeah.
attitudinal
It
healing
met
and
so many, it met so many needs, I guess, and
yeah,
not even needs so much as, I was going to say fulfillment almost, but like
yeah,
the volunteers got so much out of it. Like the
yes,
staff, you could feel it as we walked in on, on the Wednesday. You could feel them light up, thinking,
yes.
oh, there's
Yeah.
all these people coming in, and I guess it's like for all of us, like just feeling like you're being supported, and you're being
Yes.
seen, and you're sharing,
Yeah.
a load.
Yeah.
Just makes such an amazing difference.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
so the staff really, appreciate it. And I'm sure, we never really discussed it, but I'm sure
Mm.
Amy, who was the OT, while in the time that we were there, she actually was, the organization RAFA actually
Mm.
paid for her to go across to the US and do Michael's workshop, or
Yeah.
his
Wow.
retreat, his 3-day retreat in the US.
Yeah.
Um, and come back, bring back his work
Yeah. Yeah.
direct
Wow.
from
Yeah.
Michael.
And that's huge.
So
That was a
yeah,
retirement home who paid for that to
yes, for
for
her to
the
go
person to
and
go.
learn
Wow.
about Michael's work and bring it
Yes.
back in.
Yeah.
So the staff and the
Yeah.
volunteers,
Mhm.
the residents and the
Yeah.
families of the residents all had a vested interest in us working together and supporting
Yes.
each other. And
Wow.
yeah, so it was a
Yeah.
lot of fun, a lot
Which,
of fun.
yeah, and it
Mm.
shows too that it doesn't just affect, you know, the immediate group. It spreads out, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Everywhere.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Wow.
It was great.
Yeah. And Trisha, now in your daily life, or I know that you're doing some things online for attitudinal healing. Um,
Mhm,
yeah,
mhm.
do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, probably just more so, all those things I've mentioned we've done,
Yeah.
and we continue to do things. And Gerald and Russell and I have done a number of workshops together now, and the one we're going to be doing, I think we start late February, or
And
19th, 20th of February, I think.
yeah, I was going to say
19th
in a
in the
few
US,
weeks.
20th in Perth.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, we've actually titled it Attitudinal Healing, What Really Matters. And so
Perfect.
we'll work with the principles and different
Yeah.
ideas
Yes.
through that lens.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And
so
and
looking
that
forward to that.
people can find out about your offerings on the Attitudinal Healing International website. Yeah.
That's the best
Yeah.
place to
Hmm.
go. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah.
Great.
And we run groups in Perth as well. And,
Yes.
we all our groups originally, of course, were, face to face.
Yeah.
And now we're on, Zoom, doing
Yes.
work on Zoom. Um, and I find Zoom really,
Yeah.
really,
Yeah.
when I first started, I had been so used to being in a room with everyone. And I am
Yes.
not really technically very adept. But I've absolutely loved working online, and I
Yeah.
feel that it's strange how, online, you still can get a feel for what people are saying, and you can
Yeah.
see by their, you know, the expressions, you can hear
Yeah.
by the tone in their voice.
Yes.
All of those things make it really um, fulfilling for facilitators to work online, but we get feedback all the time, and yeah, people really feel connected. There's
Mm.
always that bit of a thing at the end of a group where people go, "Oh, is it? Are we finishing?"
Yeah. Yes.
It's sort of like it's a little bit hard to leave the party.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's so
So
true, isn't it? That sense of connection,
mm,
it's still there online,
yeah,
It's lovely in
yeah,
person too, of course, but
yeah.
yeah, you can still get
Yeah.
that
And of
online.
course, when you meet up in other groups, it's like a homecoming.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Mm.
so true. Yeah. Yeah.
But I think, probably one of the things I'd just like to say is, what a privilege it's been
Yeah.
to use it in my personal life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, like everyone else, there's been, huge challenges as well as all the wonders of life. There has been huge challenges, and it's been it's just been such a privilege to feel that I have been um, given tools, and I've
Yes.
developed those tools to suit my other interests. Like um, I have, teachers from Buddhism, teachers from Christianity, I have teachers
Yeah.
from psychology.
Yes.
I just, the online people that I have, followed at different times.
Yeah.
But attitudinal healing for me is the foundation of how I actually put into practice love is the essence of my being, how I
Yeah.
put into practice giving and receiving are the same, and how
Yes.
I put into practice, um, we can find inner peace regardless of what is happening on the outside.
Mm.
And so I've experienced it in my life, and I've sometimes thought when you're moving forward, you sometimes feel like you're not making very much inroad. But
Yeah.
when you look back, it's like a sort of a tapestry, and you can sort of see that how this fitted in with this, and then those colors blended, and then you moved
Yeah.
on and met different people, and
Yeah.
changed perspectives
Yes.
and learnt that, well, for me, the biggest thing for me in my life is connection,
Mm.
and connecting with myself and connecting with others. And, I think at this time when there is so much turmoil, and whether it's in myself or my family or my community or in the wider world, it's
Mm.
like if I keep coming back to, the essence of my being is love, then I feel
Yeah.
that it gives me, a much wider lens to look at everything that's happening everywhere and within myself, and
Mm.
find that home and
Yes.
feel that I can respond from that place of love and peace and fear and
Mm.
inner turmoil and
Yes.
whatever
Yeah.
might be happening at a given time. But I feel like there's always a sense of you know being held, not being
Yes.
abandoned. and just waiting. And I was listening to a podcast the other day, and the gentleman who was doing a meditation, he said, you know, the question he asked was, do you have the patience to wait until the muddy water clears and clear water is there for you?
Yeah.
Or something simple, that was the essence of his words. But it just made me think about how in attitudinal healing we talk all the time about being responsible for our own thoughts and our own feelings and how we say what we say and how we act. And I particularly liked what this gentleman said, because I thought, when we give ourselves some space and some time, then we have a chance to see where we really are when that muddy water clears, and find a way to respond that's in the best interest of ourselves, and is not going to cause any more harm than we can possibly help, something like that. So I feel grateful that I've had attitudinal healing. Always, it's come to be like the base of my ongoing journey, and still feel like a student in so many ways.
And what a beautiful way to end, Trisha. Just that reminder to come back home to self, and and allow yourself some space, and when things clear, you come out again and shine your light out there. Thank you, Trisha. It's been beautiful talking to you today, and I know that others will appreciate this too. So thank you.
Lovely.
Take care.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.